Hello, Ken. How are you this fantastic day? Today is
I
a daytime, which is so weird for us, but how are you?
I am amazed. I look out the window and there's light, and I look at you and you're sitting on a beach enjoying yourself. This is fantastic.
Yes, I am in sunny San Diego where the sun is actually shining. I'm sitting in front of a window. I'm not actually on a beach. I don't know if you're aware, there's these things called filters, which can give you some backgrounds, and the background looks really amazing. But I'm actually sitting in a hotel room in San Diego. So tonight, or excuse me,
Today.
today, we are going on a journey. I would ask you what this is all about, but I'm going to tell you what it's all about.
Dan, lead us off.
Thank you. So, I just came from Disney World in Orlando, and at the hotel we were at, they have a very nice gym. And my son and one of my daughters went with me every day to the gym. And I am happy to report that my kids are on some incredible, I'll call them streaks, right? They've made commitments. So my son, for example, just finished his sixth round of 100 plus days of his workout. And what we do is after every 100 or so days, we give a 1 day off just so the streak doesn't like get messed up, or if it's like up to a super high number. So anyway, to cut to the chase, he's done over 650 days of his workout with 1 day off in between, because he had one time where he was like day 40 something, and he fell asleep and missed his workout because he was going to do it at the end of the evening. But anyway, with all that said, super proud of him for 650 plus days of workouts with his intentional break in between each of those streaks of 100 plus days. But my daughter, who's more recently gotten into this, I think she's at day 40 something on her streaks of consistently working out every day, mentioned something to me, and I just love the way she phrased it. She said, I'm paraphrasing, I wonder if my friends will notice the journey I'm on. And I thought, oh, I really like that you said that. And really what she was talking about was the progress, right, that she was making, because she'll look in the mirror or take selfies and she'll be like, do you think I look stronger? You know what I mean? Like, do you think I'm, getting in better shape and stuff like that? And she is really making progress. But I just liked it. I think even though her brother's younger than her, I like really maybe he's providing her some sort of inspiration that this isn't just like, hey, I'm going to do this occasionally, or I'm going to do this just for a period of time and then I'm done. I've arrived. But I really think that she saw it for the way I best describe that, which is she's on a journey, right? And this happens to be a health journey. And the way I look at journeys is you could be journeying to a destination, but in life, if you look at that metaphor for life, we're actually on a journey through life. And it really only ends when we die. So this topic is not about death. We talked about that before, but this topic today is about being on a journey. And I really just love the way that was phrased, is the journey that she's on for health.
Yeah, I love that. It's really topical right now. I talked to one of my clients yesterday, and she works for a surrogacy company. The client is a surrogacy company, and for those of you who are unfamiliar, it's a company that simply helps people who are having a struggle conceiving, or people like a gay couple who need someone, a surrogate, to carry for them. And she referred to the fact that she had been a surrogate before going to work for this company. And she talked about it from the perspective of journey, my surrogacy journey. And when she talked about the women that she was working with now, it was the same thing, that she was so happy to accompany them on their journey. And that's the part of it that really resonated with me. The thought that you've got somebody to walk with you on that journey. So Dan, like what you were talking about with your son, with your daughter, they've got you to walk with them, to accompany them on the journey that they're making to health and fitness. And I think that that's an essential part, that if we have somebody to walk with us on a journey, we're not going to go it alone. And I've always found in my own life, whatever journey I happen to be on, if somebody's walking with me, if I know that there's somebody else there to encourage me, to be there for me when I fall and help me up, to be there to celebrate when I hit a milestone, And perhaps most importantly, just to hold me accountable as I make this particular journey towards whatever it is. And it could be a short-term one, it could be the longer term one of life. Man, that's when I am absolutely most successful. And I feel like the journey is joyful, even during its tough times, even during those times when I feel like I might be falling short. There's a joy to it because I've got somebody else walking with me.
Don't stop believing. That's from the band Journey. That little ditty is a very famous song. I'm sure you've all heard of it. And if you haven't, look it up. It's a great song. But anyway, I love that saying, except for I take everything and I phrase it in the positive, because in order to not stop or don't stop believing, you have to first consider, should I maybe stop believing? So I just flip it to the positive, which would be keep believing. And it reminds me of something that I used to say. And this came from Martin Luther King, where he'd say, like, I have a dream and I wanted to create a foundation. It would be called the Keep the Dream Alive Foundation. Originally it was going to be for people who had, let's say, like a dream of going to college and they couldn't afford it. So I put together something where they could keep that dream alive by, like, we could put together donors who could give scholarships for deserving people who were underprivileged and, and they were not able to afford that. Anyway, so keep the dream alive, or keep believing, right? And I really think that is the key to any journey that you go on. Is I always say in coaching, there's two phrases, and the first one is positive expectancy. So it's this belief that things will work out for you, things will go really well. But it's very important that you accompany this positive expectation that you set for the journey, along with, I always say, this tattooed word that's sitting on your forearm, and the word is perspective. And perspective usually only comes from experience. And a lot of times perspective comes from negative experiences. So something bad happens, and then you realize, oh, maybe I shouldn't be so optimistic. Maybe I should be more realistic, right? But that is the value of what Ken just mentioned, with having somebody go along with you on this journey. So Ken and I are both coaches or consultants. And in this journey that we talked about with my son and daughter for health, get a trainer, right, to go along with you on that journey. But I think it's really important to have somebody go with you on the journey, because what they have, which you can't get without probably a negative experience, is that word, perspective. They have been on this journey before you, right? Either themselves or somebody else they've coached, consulted with, trained, whatever. And they know what's about to come. Now, if they're good at their job, they're not going to necessarily warn you, right? Because they don't want you focused on negative things. So they're not going to say, hey, let's be realistic here. Let me tell you how hard this is going to be, or let me tell you how difficult it's going to be. Going back to that thing, don't stop believing. It's like, we want them to have, if we're a good coach, positive expectancy. We want them to say, this is going to work for you, right? This is going to be an incredible journey. You're really going to love it. You're going to be successful. You're going to arrive at your destination. All this is going to work out. But where they come into play, because they have perspective, is when the going gets tough, they can help you overcome that challenge, right? Or the situation, because they can tell you a story about either their own journey or the journey of the people who came before you. And they can tell you what's just beyond this difficult time that you're in. And they can give you that perspective so you can go, oh, let me continue forward on my journey, and don't stop believing, or keep believing.
So I spoke with a great friend today. He's 20 years sober now. And he's a sponsor with Alcoholics Anonymous. And that is, I think, a classic illustration of a lifelong journey for so many people. Sobriety, that it's something that a lot of people have to work at on a daily basis. And the reason that they have sponsors in AA is because of so many of the reasons that you mentioned, Dan. There's people who have walked that path before, and they know what's coming. And like you said, a good coach, a good mentor, trainer isn't going to suppose or isn't going to tell you everything that's coming up, because number one, they don't know exactly what your experience of it's going to be, but they also don't want to deprive you of the experience of going through even a tough time. And in that difficult time, that's where the growth occurs. And in something like AA, where people can genuinely say, I've been there, I've been down this path, I've been on this journey, I know what it's like. There's just nothing like that in terms of support. I've seen far too many times when people try to go it alone, this whole notion of like rugged individualism, which I think is just vastly overrated. It just doesn't serve anybody. Tap into the wisdom that's around you and your friends, your colleagues, business associates, people that you might know from if you attend a community of faith, if you're a member of an organization. There are so many people that would want to accompany you on a journey. And I just think it's a magnificent way to tap into the wisdom that's out there and make that journey more meaningful, make it more impactful, and also provide the support that you need along the way. Like I said, I think AA provides one of the best examples of what that can look like, with somebody there to literally walk the walk with you because they've walked it before you.
So the big lesson, the big takeaway is find your Sherpa. And if you don't know what that means, look it up. But you would not go climb, I think it's Mount Everest in Nepal, without a guide, a Sherpa, someone who's been on this journey ahead of you. And because if you do, you might die or you might be seriously injured. And that would be really bad. So what do? You go find a Sherpa and you hire them to take you on this journey with you. So I think that to me is the big takeaway. So step one, pick a journey. Like, don't just dabble. Don't just try something out. Don't just go, yeah, let me do that and see how it works out. Like, pick a road that you're going to go on, right? And say, let me journey down the path of health. Let me journey down the path of career, relationship, having a child, whatever that may be. But don't do it and just say, I'm going to figure it out. There's no value in getting your lumps or trial by fire or learning on your own, right? You'll get perspective and you'll learn a lot. But the probability would be you might quit on that journey because it's going to be tough. The road ahead will be tough. So, but the moment you find your Sherpa, the moment you hire a coach, the moment you get an accountability partner, you get somebody that's a role model for you, or a mentor, somebody who can help guide you. Hopefully they can allow you to go in with that positive expectancy, right? But they have their eyes wide open to the fact that while they don't have to point it out, when it gets tough, they're going to help navigate you around those difficulties and in the direction of continued success. So hopefully people will notice you on your journey, just like my daughter is wondering if people are noticing her on her journey. Hopefully people will be able to look at you and say, wow, right? Whatever that case may be. They see your new child. They see you in your new relationship, right? They see your body getting in better shape, whatever that case may be. We all want it, right? We all want to feel good enough. So hopefully people will see you on your journey and give you that validation that you are good enough. So pick your journey, find your Sherpa,